political purpose. And this fit does serve a higher purpose. They're trying to divert attention from a much bigger story. Remember when Trump said the Obama administration had been spying on his campaign? The Democratic Party's bootlickers went absolutely crazy the second he said it. They rushed to the nearest television studio to mock the very idea.
President Trump has a new favorite word, and every time he uses it, he is lying. And that is the word spy.
His baseless claims of spies.
This so-called spy issue, first of all, there's absolutely no evidence there was a spy. So it's really a fake issue.
He wants you to believe that his campaign was spied on, and it's one of the worst things that we've ever seen from government.
I think looking back, the VCR, one of the great inventions in human history, maybe fire the wheel, the VCR, because it allows us to preserve people's claims on tape and then play them back. The group you just saw were hysterical at the idea that Trump might believe there was spying on his campaign. They were hysterical because they suspected it might actually be true. And now we know that it was. In fact, according to recent testimony from a high-ranking FBI official, the spying turned out to be far more extensive than Trump suspected. Even James Clapper had to concede that.
Using undercover agents is a standard and legitimate technique that is widely used in investigations. That technique has been used to thwart a lot of counterterrorism plots in this country. So I'm sure, I mean, there are protocols and standards for using an agent, and I'm sure that's the case here.
Was it spying?
Well, yeah, I guess it meets the dictionary definition of surveillance or spying, a term I don't particularly like.
Yeah, the guy who ran the spy agency doesn't like the word spying. Eric Felten broke the story that there may have been more than one government informant embedded in Trump's campaign. He wrote it for National Review Online, and he joins us on the set tonight. Eric, thanks a lot for coming on.
Tucker, how you doing?
I feel like most people who thought maybe Trump was onto something kind of vindicated tonight, but even those of us who thought there might have been spying, I think, are not prepared to learn what you've reported, which is it was real spying.
Well, what's interesting about it is you had Jonathan Moffa, who's Deputy Assistant Director of the FBI, sort of head of intelligence analysis, and he was put together with Pete Strzok. You remember Peter Strzok?
Very well.
As the core two people and putting together the Trump investigation, the Trump-Russia investigation at the beginning of August 2016. And Pete Strzok sent a text message, always the text messages from Pete Strzok, in which he wanted to organize what they were going to talk about at their sort of first organizational meeting. And at their first organizational meeting, they talked about CHSs, confidential human sources, and liaison, which is an FBI term for working with spy agencies, whether it's the CIA or foreign agencies. So from the get-go, right from the beginning of the investigation, using spies was on the table as one of the things that the team was going to use.
So now there's evidence that there was more than one.
Right. We know that that Christopher Steele was a confidential human source.
Right.
And we know that Stefan Halper was a confidential human source. This is the Cambridge professor. And we know that Azra Turk, pretending to be Stefan Halper's assistant, was some kind of informant.
Now, some of these people were paid with tax dollars, correct?
Oh, yeah. No, Stefan Halper has, over the years, gotten paid lots and lots of money. He does analysis papers for the Defense Security Agency, writing position papers that he gets paid $300,000 for. And it ends up being a way in which the money for Stefan Halper is paid out of the sort of black bag. But what's interesting is Jonathan Moffa, in closed-door testimony back in August on Capitol Hill, was asked just how many confidential human sources there were in the investigation. And he couldn't answer the question. If it had just been one or two or three, that would have been easy. Instead, he had to say, well, there were confidential human sources. I just don't know how many there were.
Shocking. And shocking. Hopefully we